Hey everybody, welcome to another action-packed, exciting episode of Scotty's Record Shop. Going to do another ranking video. Ranking, unfortunately, for kind of a sad reason in the news lately, we've heard some health issues with Billy Joel. Seen Billy Joel in concert. Um, Actually, saw Billy Joel. Best one I saw was him and Elton John on the same bill. And at the end of the show, they both got up on stage and ripped it up. It was a great show. I don't think we're going to be seeing Billy Joel live anymore. I'm not going to get into the specifics of his medical condition. I do know a little bit about it, having been in healthcare for 150 years, but it's not great. I don't. I would be surprised. I will. I don't make predictions, but I'll make the prediction: there will be no more Billy Joel tours. He may be well enough at times to do a one-off thing, maybe. I hope so, especially for all of the people that really wanted to see him and never got a chance to see him. Fortunately, we have tons of music that he left behind over the last 50 years. Really, we're going to rank the studio albums, his solo studio albums. So we're not going to have live albums. We're not going to have promotional not well. I'm saying promotional because I do have some promotional stuff by him that's radio station only stuff, compilations. But compilations, we're not going to have any of that, and we're not going to do his classical thing that he did. The reality is, he wrote it. He couldn't. He didn't play it in his own words. He heard it in his head, but he wasn't a good enough piano player to play it. And he's a really good classically trained piano player. Um, if you get a chance, what is it? Delusions and I can't remember. It's I'm sure it's in Spotify or Amazon Music or something. It's an interesting piece to listen to, but it's not him playing. He started out in the mid '60s in a band called the Hat. I'm just going to show these just because I can. All right, I'm going to do that. It's my channel. Oh, by the way, I'll get to the subscribe and all that crap later. Okay, we'll do that later. But his initial band that he was involved in, a band called the Hassles, two albums they put out. 68, 69, maybe, I think. These are okay. This is not the Billy Joel that you know. This is not the singer-songwriter introspective kind of thing. This is not what this is about. Not bad, but just not that. The next thing he was involved with, him and the drummer split. And this is definitely not the Billy Joel that you know. Tilla. This is a lot of people, most people hate this album. Really hate this album. I kind of, sort of, in a weird way, like it. The song Wonder Woman is really kind of cool. It's just Billy Joel and the drummer from the Hassles. Billy Joel's on a Hammond B3 organ that's way over distorted, and he's just basically screaming out lyrics. Yeah, Billy Joel screaming out lyrics. It's heavy. He considered this. What did he refer to it as? Psychedelic BS. Okay, I think something to that effect. It wasn't it not you're never going to get it reissued. There is one song off of this, Amplifier Fire, on the My Lives box set. I think that's on there. So if you got that or you want to look that up, but other than that, you're finding bootlegs of that. I took me a long time to find that. But anyway, all right. Now we're going to get into the Billy Joel studio discography, my ranking of better or from worst to best. Let me know what you think. I don't think this is going to be ultra controversial with Billy Joel fans. I think we all kind of fall in line with maybe a few exceptions, but none of these albums are bad. Okay, so there's no uh, a word I think I'm going to start using. There are no turds in this. I don't know why I like that word. There are no turds. You have to watch my Pink Floyd ranking to get the origins of turd. Um, but there are no turds in this. There are some that are definitely better than others, and albums that we'll get into it. There's an album that people may rank a little higher. I just don't connect. Actually, it's the first one. My my least favorite, okay, is River of Dreams, the last album he did. I This is not a bad album. A lot of people like this album. A lot of fans will say, "Nah, this is probably his least their least favorite." I don't mind this album. I just at the time I just did not connect with it. You know, I was into other stuff, and this was just. And at the time, if you listen lyrically, Billy Joel was going through a lot of stuff in his personal life, both financially and personally, and it came out on this. This very bitter, at times frustrated person. I don't blame him in the least. It's just, you know, if you're a Billy Joel fan, you'll still probably like it. All of these, you know what I'm saying? So anyway, at the bottom, and I hate saying it, River of Dreams. The next one, most bands have a sophomore slump. They put out their first album, everybody's like, "Wow, that's really great." And the second album, they kind of, they can't reduplicate it. Billy Joel did a great job on his second album, Piano Man. We'll see that a little later on. His third album is where he had his slump, I think. Street Life Serenade. Now, I like this album as well, for the most part. Best songs on here, The Entertainer, Root Beer Rag, and the title track. I like the title track. It kind of goes on a little too long, but the basic structure of it, everything is really just it's a good song. Good good song. 1974 for this album. But he was kind of running out of stuff. He was still in LA at the time. He was unhappy. This is a running theme in Billy Joel's discography. He was unhappy. I get it. I understand that. You know, out in California, and he would be moving back to New York. New York. I'm talking like I'm from New York. I'm not from New York. Anyway, he would move back, and it would really ignite him to his what would be considered his classic period for me. Okay, next one. A lot of people like this album. This was a bit of a departure production wise and everything for him. And Stormfront. Now, again, not a bad album, although I am going to take and say on record, on the record here, we didn't start the fire. I didn't care for that song. And I re listened to it and I still think it's kind of, I don't know. Great history lesson. It really is. But and it definitely represents where we were back in when what 1988 when this came out. 88, I think. Again, not a bad album, not a great album for me. Not so. That's my next one. Stormfront. Going back, one more album. A lot of people don't like this album that much. They feel like he kind of ran out of gas and he was just going through the motions. I watched a review of somebody recently where he's like, "Yeah, this album." He ranked it like I don't think it was the bottom, but it was definitely below Stormfront even. And I just didn't get that vibe from the album. Bridge, 1976. I remember this quite well when it came out. Um, one of these just moved out of the house kind of situations. Was either engaged or had just gotten married. I don't remember. Probably engaged at this point when this came out. But I like this album. I kind of really like this album. So um, I don't think it's. I mean, somebody had said, well, he was hanging out with Christy Brinkley, and this and this is that, and he was like, oh crap, I need to make an album. Here you go. I don't feel that way about this. It's not. Again, it's not his best work, but you know. Now going to his first album. Now, which version do you want to talk about? Um, there we go. You know, I'm French, so when I move things this way, they go the other way. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Hey. Um, this this is an interesting album. I've heard more than one. I'm just gonna hold one up. I'm gonna hold the original. This was reissued. This is the. I believe this is the Columbia. Yeah, you can see right. Yeah, you can see the Columbia. Yeah. There we go. Yeah, right there, the Columbia thing. That was on Columbia. What 82ish or so? 83. The thing about this was it was well the speed was fixed first of all. And we're going to talk about that. Speed was fixed, and the original album. This is on a label called Family Productions, but I'll show that in a second. But anyway, there was speed issues, and we've heard most people who know about Billy Joel know about all this stuff. Blah 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 blah. Some people are like, he sounded like a chipmunk. It was terrible. He didn't sound like a chipmunk, people. First of all, this was his first album as a solo artist. His voice, he was young. I mean, he was a freaking. He didn't look young here, but he was a young guy. And this his voice was a little higher. His voice hadn't fully matured to what we know it is now. And yes, there was a speed issue, but it wasn't like 2 or 3 steps above. It was sped up some, and it needed to be fixed. But and when they went in to redo this, they remixed it, they edited some stuff, they took out some instruments. Um, the Family Production label. Yeah. Um, I kind of like the original version. Now I have. Let me put a disclaimer in here. I have in a digital form someone um, down in the Nashville area, and I can't remember who it was. I'll turn you on to it. I don't even know. Sent me a remastered version from the vinyl. And this guy took a long time to do this, and he knows his stuff. So this really sounded really good. He pitch corrected it. He really did a good job remastering this from vinyl, and I have it on a digital file. I hope someday it does actually get issued because I think there are some things about the original version that are better. Um, uh, Let me see. She's gonna you. You can make me free. The song twice as long, and there's a really good rockin' ending to it. Where on this version fades out really kind of quickly. On the Columbia version. So anyway, this is my next favorite or in line of favorite albums by Mr. Billy Joel. Next one is his next one, his sophomore album, Piano Man. This is a really good album, and I like the fact that it's so diversified. There's kind of country music on here. There's soulful music. There's his piano. Kind of Billy Joel we learn to love. But this is a really good album. I think it's the end of '73 into '74 when this came out on Columbia. His first album on Columbia. It's a good listen. I hadn't listened to it for a while, and I played it not too long ago, and I was like, I like this album. So there it is. I'm ranking this one a little higher because I'm almost afraid people are going to kill me if I don't. But I don't listen to this one that much anymore. It huge mid '80s album, huge mid '80s, and a really good album. But I'm kind of burned on it, burned out on it. Um, Again, maybe some people would rank this a little higher. Which one am I talking about? An Innocent Man. This is a great album. His throwback album, his I feel like he had just met Christy Brinkley. I'm in love. I'm going to connect with my youth. Sit on the front porch with my new girlfriend. Show the world how pretty she is. And I'm gonna play some old 45s from the 50s and 60s. And then I'm gonna write an album that's reminiscent of that music. And pretty much what he did. And it's a great album. It is a great album. But I'm kind of sick of it. Kind of. I don't know if that I'm sure it does make sense, but it's just kind of where I'm at right now. Um, but I put it up this high because it deserves to be, whether I am kind of sick of it or not. And it's odd because I'm kind of burned out on this album, but his most popular albums, which pretty much everybody knows what's going to be up towards the top, I'm just not sick of them. I don't know why. I mean, these things have been played constantly. I've played them constantly since the mid 70s, and I don't know. I don't know if it's the 50s, 60s vibe that's kind of worn thin for me. I don't know. Still a great record though. Innocent Man. Next one, some people would put this a little lower. I just really like the the intensity of this album. It's not like necessarily musically intense. It's subject wise. He covers a lot of social stuff. He talks about Vietnam. He talks about the troubles in the mills of Pennsylvania. He gets political, but he doesn't. He's not. I don't know. He's not overtly like some people who we will not mention, especially now. Um, and this even has a Christmas song on it. What you could call it Christmas. This is my original version. It's kind of I played this a lot, as you can tell. It's got ringwear. I got a better pressing of this, but I just wanted to show you. This is this is 40 something years old, 1981, I think, 82, something like that. The Nylon Curtain. For those of you who can't see this, for some reason there are some visually impaired and blind people that watch my channel. I know that, so I got to remember that you guys are there. So, being a visually impaired person myself. The Nylon Curtain. I really like this album. This is the first and only album I can think of by Billy Joel where he drops an F bomb. He actually he says a naughty word on this record. Oh boy! I'm not going to tell you where it is or what song it's in. It's not obviously one of the more popular songs. You got to listen to it and find it. Okay. All right. I want to say now we're getting into the good stuff, but this is all good stuff. Okay. This was when things really started happening. He moved back to New York and um, just it started to happen. Well, it's not a perfect album, but boy, oh boy, oh boy, I love this album. 1976 Turnstiles. I really dig this album. This is the blueprint for the Stranger. I mean, you get the Stranger, you get this album, the Stranger, and 52nd Street, and you've got this fantastic trifecta. It's just fabulous. Obviously, New York State. One of the weakest songs on here is "Goodbye to Hollywood." For me, I prefer the live version from Songs in the Attic personally. But New York State of Mind, James. This is just a great album. It is. No complaints from this kid. All right. I love this album because it just rocks. And you don't usually say this album rocks and put that together with Billy Joel. It doesn't usually work that way. But this album rocks, okay? Glass House is 1980. Starts off with You May Be Right. This is just a this album has a lot less piano on it. The piano man just kind of put away his piano and picked up a guitar a little bit. He did do some guitar work on this, I believe. But it's only rock and roll to me. I still love that song. Yeah, maybe it's overplayed, but first number one song he ever had, and it's just a great, great album. I just really dig this album, and that would be my. We're in the top three now, Kitty. So it's got to be good. Uh, Glass Houses, my third favorite, at least for today. Album. These are I mentioned, and I'll do it. Say this in other rankings too. Some of the stuff kind of, especially towards the top. depending on my mood, the day. But these albums are kind of pretty fixed in. I've had these. I've lived with these albums. I love these albums. They just, my number one album is my number one album. Matter of fact, I think my number three, my top five are they are what they are, and they've been like that for a long time. So anyway, third favorite album, Glass House. Second favorite LP is 52nd Street. We're getting into. I'm well aware of this. Bought this stuff when it came out. This is kind of the sister album or sibling album of The Stranger and I think Turnstiles, even though Turnstiles didn't quite get there yet. But this is a very successful album for him. A very well produced. You've got Phil Ramone um, here. I believe Phil Ramone started with him on The Stranger, stayed with him for a while. This is just a classic Billy Joel album. By the way, the very how can I say this? I don't want to say it like I'm going to say it. This had the first batch of CDs that came out by Sony in 1982. This had the first catalog number. Now people will go, "It's the first CD ever made." No, it wasn't the first CD ever made or commercially made by Sony. It was the first catalog number. It had the lowest catalog number. But it was a batch of CDs, like 30 or 50 of them that were released with the Philips CD player back in 82. All right, so that's that. Now we know where we're going, don't we? Of course we do, kids. Billy Joel's my favorite Billy Joel album. Has always been, will always be The Stranger. Just is what it is. Had this on 8-track initially when it came out. Yes, 8-track back in 1977, 78. That's where we got this first in the family. Shortly thereafter, we got it on. We got the vinyl. We got the record of it, and played it to death. Love this album. If you don't know who Billy Joel is, if you're young, and I don't want to demean anybody who doesn't. I mean, maybe there's some 12, 13-year-old people who are just getting into vinyl, and if you are, that's awesome. Or getting into older music. If you've heard about Billy Joel, this is where you start. Right here. Stranger. Alrighty, that takes care of my list of mm, ranking of Billy Joel's studio albums. Let me know what you think. I'm sure you guys aren't too far off, but comments, leave plenty of comments. We got to work on this, kids. We got to get these comments going here. Some dialogue underneath. I'll do my best as usual to respond to you guys on these things. Okay, uh, like and subscribe. And while you're at it, if you're a praying person, pray for Billy Joel because he's not well, and the the brain disorder that he has really, really, really isn't a joke. The man is having a hard time right now. I guarantee you that. So, say a little prayer for him too. And like I said, like, subscribe, comment, share, do all you can to help make Scotty's Record Shop grow. The old man here would really appreciate it. All righty. Until next time, everybody, peace and love.